Welcome to Whiteboard Wednesday. My name is Scott Lokers. I'm part of the Luminex team, which is really a privilege and fun. And I get to be with you today. I want to share with you a mental model that has helped me in terms of the motivation to lead change. Some of us are wired that we're just all in right away. You talk about change or things that we can do to be different, and some of us say, yeah, let's go, and we need to be held back. Others of us need some motivation. Why would we want to do that? Because leading change, it can be fun, but it's also challenging. And sometimes there's some pain associated with that and some loss and grief that we need to deal with. And so we might need some motivation or some ways to motivate the people we're leading. Why would we take this on? Why would we move toward change? This is called Generating Sustaining Creative Tension, a tool I learned in churches learning change. And I want to share just the three basics with you today. That some of the motivation to change and to lead change comes as we take a look at where are we, current reality, and God's emerging future. Where do we want to be? And we hold those up. And we just hold them up. We get as clear as we can about this is where we are, and as clear as we can of we believe this is where God is leading us. And so just holding that up generates some creative tension, some reason to move from one to the other. And that movement is never a straight line. It's never a simple, easy process, but it's got twists and turns. But just holding those up generates some movement, some reason to move. But sometimes I get into thinking, well, is it really so bad? And maybe we're somewhere in between, but I can just keep doing the things I'm doing and things will be okay. Or at least they won't get any worse. But this model has a third part, which reminds me that isn't true, a default future. That if we're not intentional about moving toward what God has in front of us, we don't stay in the same place. We're going to drift toward another place, the default future. It's really impossible to stay exactly in the same place. Why is that? Because time is moving and we change and the people around us change and the environment changes, and so we're moving toward one or the other. If you think about a physical example, for instance, let's say I have a bad hip and I'm walking with a limp and I say, well, that's okay. I can just keep doing this. It'll stay the same. But that's not true. I might have other parts of my body, the other hip starts to act up, or a knee, or some reason because I'm favoring that hip, or I just don't walk at all and I go toward inactivity. Same thing is true if you think about leading a congregation or a ministry. Well, I can just keep doing what I'm doing and will stay the same, which isn't so bad. No, that's not true. Because the circumstances, the environment around us, the neighborhood keeps changing. We become less and less effective. It's not just that we stay the same, we become less effective. Or people keep leaving our congregation. The people who really do want to go after what God is inspiring them to do say it's not going to happen here, so I'm going to go somewhere else. We never do stay the same. So the motivation for me to lead change, some of it just holding up, this is where we are, this is where we believe God wants us to be. But also, if I get clear about, oh, this is the way we're drifting. If I'm not intentional, we're going to drift this way, gives me the motivation to take on the hard work. Why would we lead change? Because this is a painful place to be, and this is where God's calling us. Give it a try. Thanks.